Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. We made it. We made it to 2021. Feels really good, doesn't it? New Year's are always so exciting. An opportunity for all kinds of new things and new things to look forward to. I hope everyone had a great Christmas, and I hope you had a fun New Year's, and I think we're all finishing up our Christmas breaks, and we'll be getting back to school and work and stuff soon, but I hope you've been having a really good time. Darcy says hi. So today is a really cool day because it is Epiphany Sunday for us. We are talking about when the Wisemen came to see baby Jesus. And Epiphany is on January 6th every year. And this year it's on a Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. But we're talking about it today. So guess what our lesson is going to be about? Did you say the Wisemen? If you did, you are correct. So we're going to read our Bible story today about the Wisemen, and I have a very special introduction. We have a fancy new Bible storybook. It has a lot of cool illustrations, and I can't wait to get into it with you. So if you're ready, let's read our Bible story. So our Bible story is from Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. And the title of this Bible story is called The Magi. And the Magi is the fancy official word for the wise men. So here you can see, here's some wise men, and they're on their camels, and they see the star. And the star is over a city, it looks like. What a pretty picture. So let's read the Bible story. In a faraway place, there were Magi who spent their time watching the stars. One night, they noticed a very special star in the sky. It was very bright and seemed to be moving ahead of them. The Magi thought this special star would lead them to the new king. They wanted to bring special gifts to the new king. They packed frankincense, gold, and myrrh, gifts fit for a king, and set out following the star. The Magi arrived in Bethlehem following the special star until it stopped over a little house. When the Magi entered the house, they met the new King Jesus and his mom Mary. The Magi knelt down and offered Jesus their gifts. One of the other really cool things I like about this new Bible storybook is it asks a fun question at the end of each chapter. So today's question when we're talking about the Magi is, I wonder, were the Magi surprised the new king didn't live in a castle? Do you think they thought that Jesus would be a king who was born in a castle and had all kinds of fancy things and a lot of money maybe? I wonder, do you think they were surprised? It's an interesting thing to think about. One more thing I want to talk about before we get to today's craft is the Magi brought Jesus some very fancy, expensive gifts for their time, for back in the Bible times. Gold and frankincense and myrrh. They brought them because they were bringing gifts to the king. And it was very fancy and probably very expensive for them to do that. But one thing that's good for us to remember, sometimes we think about gifts as something that you wrap up and you give to someone. But gifts don't always have to be a thing. They don't always have to cost any money. Sometimes a gift can be like your gifts, your talents. What can you bring to someone or to Jesus that you already have, you're already good at, you already like to do? Maybe you like to color, and you could color a picture. Maybe you like to sing, and you could sing a song. Maybe you like to listen. Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you're a good helper, and you would like to do chores for somebody else or do a random act of kindness for another person. There are all kinds of gifts we can give to each other and to Jesus and to God that don't cost any money and aren't fancy at all, but are some of the most meaningful gifts we can give. So Even though we're talking about the Wisemen and their big, fancy, expensive gifts, we need to remember that gifts are not always expensive things or things at all. Okay, that was my discussion on gifts. And now for our craft. So we have a fun craft today. I don't think we've ever done anything like it in the history of virtual Sunday school. And today's the day. You will need for this craft some scissors and preferably stick glue, but I couldn't find any, so I'm using regular Elmer's glue. And then you will need some pieces of tissue paper in any color. If you just have white, that will work, or you can use whatever color you want. I picked pink and yellow because I wanted to. So you'll need to cut your tissue paper up. Tissue paper usually comes in kind of big sheets, and we'll need to cut it down a little bit. I've already done a lot of that prep work on mine, so you may need to pause the video or do something to be able to cut yours down to size. But basically mine is like, let's say 10 inches long by maybe 5 inches wide or so. You can kind of see the scale. So cut them roughly the same size. Mine aren't exactly the same size, but that's not as big a deal, but just make sure they're smallish, not like a whole sheet of tissue paper. This craft will be extreme. So once you've done that, then come back and we'll do the next part, okay? Alrighty, so the next part is we're going to make this shape. I don't know if this is technically origami, but it is folded tissue paper. So I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to do it with all our tissue paper shapes, okay? Because we're going to make, I'll go ahead and tell you what we're making. It's a tissue paper star. Have you ever seen these in someone's window? Or maybe you've made one before. But they're really pretty. You make a bunch of these pieces and you put them all together and it makes a pretty star and you can hang it in your window. And why do you think we would be making a star? From today's lesson, because the Wisemen followed the star, right? So we're going to make a star to remind us of the star the Wisemen followed. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you how to make each little part that will form our whole complete star. So take one piece of your little tissue paper that you have cut up into strips, and you're going to fold it in half, lengthways, like a hot dog. So you're going to fold it to where it's very long and skinny, and then you're going to unfold it because we just need the middle line to go by. So that's why we folded it. Then you're going to fold all four corners of your tissue paper toward the middle line that we just made. So you're going to fold it over and crease your paper down real good. So see, these were here, and I just folded them to the middle line to make a little triangle. I'm going to do the same on the other end. Fold it to the middle line to make a little triangle. So now it looks like this on both sides. And then you're going to take one of the ends, it doesn't matter which one, and fold it down. Let me try to show you. You're going to fold it to the middle line again. So it's going to make this weird shape. This is really hard to do and it's not flat. Okay, so see, you just took your triangle, your itty bitty triangle, and you're folding that one in half again so that this corner goes to the middle line. Okay, we're just going to do that for one side of each tissue paper sheet. All right, so I know that's a lot of steps, and it took me a little while at first to figure out how to do this. And if you need to pause the video again and take some time figuring it out, or if you need to get someone who takes care of you to help you with this part, that's totally cool because it is very tricky, but it's going to be cool when we're all done too. So you're gonna do that for all your little individual pieces. Make them all look similar. They don't have to be perfect, but just make them look similar. And then we'll do the next part, okay? I'm gonna finish up making mine as well. All right, here's all my little pieces of paper that have been folded. They're all ready to become a star. So you're gonna take one at a time. So here's your first one, and you lay it down, and then take your next one that you want. You can make if you have different colors, you can alternate them, or you can just do all the same color or whatever you want. I'm going to alternate mine. So see how they're laying the same right now? You're going to turn it so that this edge, Christmas tree piece, this edge can go. See, do you see that middle line? This middle line has been very helpful for us, hasn't it? So you're gonna line it up till it overlaps a little. And then you're gonna glue, you can take your glue stick and glue the underside of that to this one so it stays put. And then we'll go to the next part. So I'm gonna glue mine down. I have regular Elmer's glue. And since you can just use a glue stick, that means you don't need very much glue at all. Tissue paper is very thin. So I'm just gonna use a teeny bit of glue for each of my layers, okay? So I'm gonna glue this one down, and then I'll come back and we'll do the next piece. Okay, these are glued together, so take your next piece, and remember, you can line them up to where they look the same, if that helps. I hope I zoomed out. Then you're gonna turn it so that this line lines up with this one. And then glue that one down. It's already starting to look so cool. We have half a star here. We're gonna keep going, okay? So I'm gonna keep layering my star little petal things, little pieces of paper. I'm gonna keep layering them and go all the way around until I'm done, and then we'll show off the final product. Are you so excited? I am almost done with my tissue paper star. I forgot to tell you one part. So I'm at the last piece. I need to add the last one, and I'm gonna get the glue ready and everything, but see how it goes alternating, like yellow, pink, yellow, pink, yellow, pink. If I just laid this on top, that doesn't look quite right, does it? So for this last one, you're gonna fold that part up and slide your piece in there, and then glue all that down so that it completes the pattern, okay? You guys, this is one of my favorite crafts that we have ever done. It is so pretty and cool, and I love it. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I know it was kind of tricky to figure out with all the folding and everything, but it looks so cool when it's put together, doesn't it? Mine is still drying because I had to use real glue, but I'm gonna try to show you what it looks like, if I can. Look at that pretty star. It's kind of flopping over in places, but you can tell what it is. Look how neat this is. It is very large also. So if you wanted to make this again and experiment with different sizes, there we go. You could definitely make a smaller one. Start with much smaller tissue paper. And you could also make much bigger ones. You can see how big you can make one. But the fun thing you can do with this is you can punch a hole in it and tie a piece of string through it and hang it like on a, probably not on a doorknob if it's this big, but you could hang it somewhere, or you can put it, you can like tape the back or something and put it on a window, put it on a fridge, put it on a mirror. You can do a lot of things with it, but it's so pretty, and it reminds us about how the wise men followed the star to meet baby Jesus. Okay, well, that was our lesson for today. We learned about the wise men, the Magi, And we made a cool star to remember how they followed the star to find Jesus. And we talked about how gifts sometimes can be really fancy and something that you buy or you make and you give to somebody. But sometimes gifts can be just real simple, just nice things you do, or something you can do or be for other people or for Jesus, right? Okay, well, I had a great time making our crafty star and talking about our Bible story today. I'm so excited about this new year and all we get to discover with our new Bible story book. Can't wait to get more into this because the pictures are so pretty, aren't they? They're just really creative. So I'm excited about it. Have a lot of stuff coming up in January that we're going to talk about. So in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Christmas break and have a good Epiphany on Wednesday, the day that we officially remember the Wisemen came. That'll be a fun word. You can tell your parents that you know now, or whoever takes care of you. Tell them what Epiphany means, the day the Wisemen came. All right. I love you all so much, and I will see you next week, okay? Bye!